Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm here to do my April wrap-up. This month I announced that I was gonna read, some books for school and everything. And there was a readathon in the beginning of the month as well, which I tried to participate in and I failed. So this month was not a really good reading month for me, except for some few books that I read in between school books that I really enjoyed. So let's talk about the books that I read in order. First book I read right in the beginning of the month, I think I even talked about it in my April TBR, was To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. This is going dark. To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han tells the story of Lara Jean. She is the middle sister in a family of four. Her mother has passed away and she and her sister is leaving for college. She is a really interesting character. She sounds real, as do all the characters in this book, which I found very good and very interesting. So she has this steel hat box which her mother gave to her, and one day the steel hat box disappears, and in that box were all the letters she would write to a boy she had a crush on that she loved to end the story. So basically when she would write that letter and she would never think about the guy again. So those letters, they all get sent to the boys that she loved previously, which is really awkward. So she just goes out of her way to stop everything from happening. And it's a very, very cute, nice, interesting read. It's a YA contemporary that is definitely worth the reading. I gave it 5 stars. I enjoyed it so much. I stayed up all night reading it. It was a really good book. I personally think so. And the sequel comes out in May, and I can't wait because this one ended in a cliffhanger, which I was not expecting from a YA contemporary book at all. So yeah. So then the readathon started, and this month's theme was sci-fi. So I started reading The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey. But as you can see, I haven't finished it because the beginning of this book, surprisingly, is really slow for me. I don't know. I mean, I've heard so many rave reviews about it. Everyone loving it. It's being adapted to a movie. I just don't know why I can't get into the story. I think it's the change of perspectives. It's just putting me out of it. That being said, during that week, the week of the readathon, I had to read this book, which is a play called Felizmente ao Ar by Luís de Stal Monteiro, and I had to read this for school. It's a play, and I mean, I enjoyed it enough. I think I gave it like 3 stars. Yeah, I gave it 3 stars, which is, the average for this book, because people have to read it for school, and therefore, when you have mandatory reading, you tend to dislike it a little bit just by the fact that it was mandatory for you to read it. But I mean, it's really interesting to analyze it, but it's really obvious. It's not like a very smart, you don't feel like that smart analyzing it or something like that. It's an interesting play to read around the 25th of April in Portugal, because it was the day that our dictatorship ended in 1974, so it's interesting. But yeah, I gave this 3 out of 5 stars, and I read it in 2 days, which for a book that is like 100 pages is a lot. But that's because I fell asleep reading this. But I couldn't finish The Fifth Wave, which is making me so angry. Then I went, and I mean, I couldn't resist. It was such a low price that I had to buy, and I immediately started reading it. And I think I finished I started in a day and I finished it in the other. And that book was Say What You Will by Comey McGovern. And this book is about 2 teenagers, and Amy is, she has some kind of disability, so she can't speak, she can't eat solid food, she walks with the help of I don't know how you call it, I don't recall now the name, but It's a really interesting read. I read a sample and then I was like, I have to buy this book, and it was so cheap, so I bought it and I don't regret it a bit. I did, however, give it 4 stars and not 5 stars because of some things, and because I felt this in another book. I don't recall which one. I just felt like it would go like up and down, and it was like a cycle thing. Like they're almost together and they don't get together, and then like something happens and it just falls apart. Like the moment goes away, and I just sometimes it gets really repetitive, and like you don't even recall the entire plot because so much happened, but such pointless stuff sometimes. And also there was some slut shaming stuff that I found were, you know, unwanted. But the story in itself and the characters are incredibly interesting. It's an amazing, interesting book, and it changed my perspective in so much stuff. Like people with disabilities are just like any other people. They think and they feel just like people without disabilities. And so I really thought it was interesting. And the other thing is that Amy has a physical disability, but Matthew, the other main character, he has OCD, but he doesn't admit it, and then he doesn't want help, and then his mother is not very present because his parents are divorced. So but these two characters are really interesting apart and together, especially together. It's really cute. The plot, I mean, basically Amy is in her last year of high school and she wants to have some company from her fellow colleagues. She usually is accompanied in school by an adult, a helper, and this time she wants to hire some teenagers to help her, one for each day of the week. She gets help from her colleagues, and one of them is Matthew, but Matthew was asked by her to apply for this job. And you, right from the beginning, you understand that there's a special connection between Amy and Matthew. The other characters are really interesting as well. It's a really interesting contemporary read for you if you want to check it out. And then I got to the point where I couldn't start reading any more books because I have to finish the ones I'm reading for school. So right now I'm reading Without Convent by José Saramago. I'm slowly going through it. I have one more week to finish it. Yay. So right now I'm reading Without Convent by José Saramago. I'm slowly going through it. I have one more week to finish it. Yay. And I'm also, still reading The Fifth Wave, and I just hope it gets better from this part on, because I don't know why I'm not like engaged in this story. I don't know why. I'm just hoping that the ending gets, that everything gets explained, and I finally can understand what's going on, because I don't know who to trust. I don't know. It's a change of perspectives, and like each perspective has its timeline and it goes back and forth, and everything is out of sequence, and I'm getting lost. So that's basically why it's been taking me so much time. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you can like it or subscribe. All my media stuff is down below, and I will see you soon with another video. Bye!